Hello again, everybody. This is Joe Larson and Chuck Schultz. And tonight in a 505 on Racing Show, we'll have results at a Texas Motor Speedway, some news about Matt Tifft. We'll also have a little Whelen Modified Tour information, some K&N Pro Series talk, some news from Roger Penske, and we're going to talk about the playoffs when we come back.
Inravio.com.
Welcome back, everybody. How you doing, Chuck?
Good.
It's all good. Everything's good.
Been a lot of news going on. Boy, I tell you, we're getting 30 laps to go. You got tires and fuel. And that's pretty much it, right? The season's coming to an end, and boy, I tell you.
And this playoff, you know, I'm for it, I'm against it, I'm for it, I'm against it. But you know what? It's creating a lot of tension. You know, you just go back to Martinsville, and you have the Joey Logano situation with Denny Hamlin. And that's typical short track beating and banging.
The short track racing at its best, right?
You know, and that beating and banging was when the race was over.
Yeah.
It wasn't race cars, it was people.
People want to see that, though, right? I mean, this is, you know, if it's not crashes, it's fights.
Exactly. And, you know, it's...
I mean, that's what put us on the map, 1976, right?
Yeah, 79. 79. It's CBS, live coverage.
Live coverage of a fight.
And
Went to a fight, and the NASCAR race broke out.
the NASCAR race was ending. Oh, I'll tell you. We have our nice new Inravio cups.
That's right.
This is very good.
That's right, because, you know,
Salud.
paper cups can't hold what we drink.
Paper cups don't hold what we drink here. Yeah. Oh, man, I hope everybody had a good week. So the action's winding down.
Yes, it
in
is.
the top three series. And we had...
Quick, we're in November already. Boom, here we are.
I know.
Unbelievable.
I remember when it was like February.
I remember it was October.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like last week.
That was last week.
Last week. But anyway, Texas
It
Motor
goes quick,
Speedway
it really does.
had some race in there this weekend. And what we'll start with? We'll start with the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup. And the results looked a little like this. We had Kevin Harvick with the win there, locking himself into the final four. Eric Almirola was second. Daniel Suarez was third. Joey Logano fourth. Alex Bowman fifth. Followed by Martin Truex Jr. in sixth. Kyle Busch seventh. Ryan Blaney eighth. Kurt Busch ninth. And Eric Jones rounding out the top 10. And it was one of those wild and woolly type races. You know, sometimes Texas Motor Speedway, those cookie cutter mile-and-a-half racetracks tend to be follow the leader, a parade with no music. But you know what? These guys, they're all battling not only for those last four spots in the playoffs, but the next level in the points, because your position in the points at the banquet equates to dollars and cents.
Yeah. Well, it's ultimately it's a business.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's a big deal, right? So.
And it's a real big business. And, you know, a lot of people don't understand how big of a business NASCAR is. And, you know, people watching didn't see a lot of fannies in the seats.
True.
But I went online Friday, and I always do this just to see, and a lot of those empty seats were sold, apparently because they weren't available, and nobody showed up. It was about a third full, or 2/3 empty, depending on how you want to look at it. But it's like the people, they have their tickets, and they don't go. The airlines are too expensive. The hotels are too expensive. They bought the tickets a year ago, and they couldn't get rid of them. And I think that's what's happening.
Well, yeah, it's not a, you know, it's not a, well, racing is not a, you know, a cheap man's sport to begin with.
It's not.
And I think being a fan is not a cheap fan sport as well. I mean, it's It's expensive, but we talked about this. I mean, how many places charge you, $50 to park?
Yeah.
For other sporting events. So,
Yeah, no.
I don't think it's the end of the world.
No, it's not. And I'll tell you, when you look at these things, it's not your normal sport. It's not a normal sport. It's a sport that, you have the NFL with these big crowds. An NFL team plays 16 times. NASCAR races 36 events in the top series. And that's from February through November. And the casual fan, they can't go to all the races. And some people, they can only get that
Time off.
exactly. It's the word I was looking for. Time off to go.
Yeah.
And you have to go, Thursday night into Friday and at least stay Monday in the event of a rain out.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do a race, you want to be there for the whole event. So
Yeah.
you're gonna be there for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're gonna make it a whole thing, And a lot of those people, they pack up the bus or the truck or the camper or whatever it is, and they head over.
And they're on their way.
Yeah,
But
it's a big deal. It's an event for them, and there's
Yes.
nothing wrong with that. That's what it really should be all about. So.
Exactly. And, you have these situations where people just cannot afford to go at the last minute, and they don't go. So what does NASCAR need to do? I don't think NASCAR needs to do anything for the problem. I think the racetracks who promote these races, and in some cases it's International Speedway Corp, which is NASCAR, but they need to look at ticket prices. They need to get with the local communities and the Chamber of Commerce and say, hey, look, hotels, Mr. Hotel Operator, don't gouge our fans. Because, and I know when I went to Daytona, like 51 weeks out of the year, a certain hotel was
Yeah.
$79 a night. The weekend of the Daytona 500, it's $500 a night.
Well, they sure don't make it easy, that's for sure.
No.
I mean, I remember being in Charlotte, and we were just, we were there the whole week. We were fried. And it was a blackout in Charlotte. You couldn't watch the race there.
Yeah.
You had to go to the track to watch the race.
You had to go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's I don't know. It becomes very difficult for the average Joe Schmo to go to these races. And when you think about it, they're not going, even though they bought and paid for tickets.
But you know what? Even if that's the case, I mean, I'm going to say these tracks are still making some money on the deal.
Oh, without a doubt.
Everybody's making something.
Yeah.
And, they're going to adjust. I mean, money is tight. People are not spending.
That's right.
So you really can't blame NASCAR, can't blame the tracks.
No.
And you know what? The hotels, they do that no matter what. I mean, it could be just, Long Island, Montauk, on Labor Day weekend, and all of a sudden now it's $300 a night. I mean,
Exactly.
we used to go out, and try to do like a week out there.
Yep.
And it was all well and good. It was, $80. Friday night, $450. I'm like, we can't be there.
Be there.
Like, can't we get no, it's $450, it's just the way it is. And it's, a hotel room that went out of style in the 50s.
Right. Yeah.
It's nothing special.
With the chiclet tile, it's like pink and yellow. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we can't have that. We can't have. But again, you got to look at whose fault is that. I don't think it's anybody's fault. It's just the hotels, are going to charge whatever the traffic will bear.
Sure. That's what they
And
do.
that's what's happening.
And
So
that's what they do. Yep.
we'll see. Anyway, the Xfinity Series was also at the Texas Motor Speedway. Again, winding down, coming to the end, and the results look like this. Christopher Bell was the winner there, locking himself into the final spots. Ross Chastain was second. Austin Cindric was third. Brandon Jones fourth. John Hunter Nemechek was fifth. Justin Allgaier sixth. Harrison Burton seventh. Cole Custer eighth. Jeb Burton was ninth, and rounding out the top 10, Ryan Sieg. So that's how that went there. And when you look at that, we're going to talk about the playoff points later on in the show. But when you look at what's going on with the playoffs again, not sure about it, not sure if I like it, don't like it. Remember years ago, it was the guy with the most points wins.
Yeah.
But some of those last races, the guy didn't even have to show up.
And
he was still a
won.
champion.
Yeah.
So it didn't make it interesting enough, I guess, to fight for the TV, dollar, for the ratings, for the viewings, because
Well, I got to say, when I was younger, I really didn't pay attention to the whole points thing. Who won the championship? Didn't pay attention to it.
No.
To me, it was all who was winning that race.
yeah, exactly.
For the most part, it was always Richard Petty.
Richard Petty.
Kale Yarborough was in there, Richard Petty, you had DW, and it was like, but who was winning that race?
Right.
And that's really, I don't know, it was exciting. It was definitely exciting back then.
And if your guy was doing good, that was it. It was all good. And that's what mattered back then. That's what really mattered. And I don't know, you look at these things and you wonder, what's going on and how's it going to go? And the sport has changed. Now there's new management running it, and with the merger of International Speedway Corp and NASCAR INC.
I'm interested to see where it's going to go.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they got some pretty big plans out there, and it's going to be quite interesting.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I mean, so
And,
I'm curious to see what this next season brings.
Yeah, I think
No big announcements yet.
no big announcements, but I know 2021 was everybody's, not everybody, I shouldn't say everybody's, most of the sanctioning agreements with the top 3 racetracks and across the series are for renewal. And you're going to see, you've already seen some changes for 2020 with the old Daytona race and 4th of July week. It was for years called the Firecracker 400.
Firecracker
It's
400.
moved to August 29th.
It's a Pepsi 400.
Yeah.
Well, it's very true. And then the other question is, what are they going to do with a lot of these series?
Right.
What are they going to start doing? What are they going to do with the K&N series? How's the ARCA thing going to pan out? What are they going to do with that?
Yeah. And
There's been, let's us forget that there's been other series in the NASCAR, world, if you will,
Right.
that, sportsman division,
yeah.
which was still a super speedway division, but a smaller track, a mile and a half and
Track.
less. And, you had the Busch North. Mm-hmm.
Where are they going?
What's the next step?
Yeah, I mean, ARCA and the K&N, kind of that merger going. How's that going to affect things? And when you think about that,
I'd like to see him bring some more car manufacturers in. I don't know how they'd make that happen, but
Yeah.
because of course they're not selling the rear-wheel drive four-door cars and so forth and so
Right.
on. But it's quite interesting. It just I'm sure they got some things in the works that we don't even know about.
Oh, without a doubt, because when they're sitting in the corporate castle and they're sitting around the ivory table, there's a lot of things that they're investigating, checking out, trying to see what's the big plan. And they don't let it out until it's out.
It's ready to go. Yeah, and I'm sure they got a good 5-year plan going on.
Oh,
So
without a doubt. Like most any other corporation, a lot of people don't realize NASCAR is a business that needs to make money for its shareholders.
Right.
Yes, NASCAR Inc. is a privately held stock, or it was, and International Speedway Corp. was a publicly traded, stock. So it's, they had to answer to shareholders, and NASCAR Inc. had to answer to themselves.
yeah.
So,
Well, I know they're still trying to buy my shares from me. So I'm not sure how that's going to pan out.
I
We'll see.
my broker a few years back said, "You made enough money, bail out." I wish I didn't listen. Because I would have made a little bit more. But then again, that's why you have a broker and you pay him. But anyway.
Is that what you do with it?
That's what you're supposed to do. So far, it hasn't worked out too good.
Yeah, well,
It just hasn't worked out.
the well-laid plans,
Yeah, that's what they say. Best laid plans on mice and men. But anyway, some news out of NASCAR. Matt Tifft suffered a seizure at the Martinsville Speedway while they were racing a couple of weeks back. He's going to sit out the rest of the season. John Hunter Nemechek will take over as driver of the 36 car for the rest of the season. Now, a lot of people don't know this. Matt Tifft, in July of 2016, had a tumor removed from his brain, and he had 0 issues since that time. back in 2016. Now it's 3 years. You think it's all good, and seizures at 180 miles an hour.
Not a good thing.
Not good.
No, we've had some local guys here who have had some medical issues.
Yeah.
I mean, just recently in the modified division,
Yeah.
I believe we had a couple that had medical issues at racetracks while they were racing.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about that today.
Yeah.
And it's not something you want to do.
No.
Put yourself and other people in danger. That's
Yeah.
not a good thing, for a sport.
Yeah, from what I understand, he was walking around the garage area and just boom, he had that seizure. Now, I wasn't able to find out if it was a petite mouse seizure, it was a full-blown seizure, but he had a seizure nonetheless, and I was taken into infield care center, treated and sent to a local hospital.
For observation.
Yeah, where he was driven home by one of his, racing friends. And he's working with the NASCAR doctors and his doctors.
Better safe than sorry,
Absolutely. And
That can go all kinds of different ways.
yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. But
Now, what about physicals? Do they do physicals for the drivers every year? What do they do for them?
Yeah, they do physicals, and they have to put some stuff in a cup,
Yeah.
and get it checked out, and then they do it randomly.
How intense is the physical? Is it something they send out? Is it a NASCAR doctor? Do they send them to a hospital? What do? They send them to a place?
And I've been out of the loop since 2013, and back then, you had to come with paperwork filled out by your doctors.
By your doctors.
Now, I'm sure that's changed because, let's face it, we have a relationship with our own doctor. Hey, doc, this is nothing that's going to affect anything bad. I'm all
Sign
good.
on
My
the
blood
dotted
works
line,
good.
yeah.
Okay, here you go. It's like when you went to your school physical. He checked your heart, he checked your, down your throat, looked in your ears. You're good.
You're good for math and science.
Okay,
Go.
you can play football now.
Yeah. Well, with the fire department, you have to go to the fire department doctor.
Yes.
You have to be clear. As a matter of fact, I'm going in a couple of weeks. You got to go to the fire department doctor. You got to pee in the cup. You got to do all of that.
Exactly.
But he's got to give you the clear.
Right.
So yeah, it's a independent guy. It's not your own. This happens to be my own guy,
Yeah.
but because he is my regular physician. But at the same token,
Right.
it's a little bit of an independent thing.
Right. I just noticed that
Safety first.
We have what I believe is a first-time viewer, at least in the live chat.
Oh, that guy?
That guy, my brother Mike, and for those who don't know, my brother Mike was married Saturday. See, the days are starting to blend. He got married Saturday to his soulmate Andrea, and I happened to be the officiant.
I saw.
And
Very nice. I taught you well.
what a
Peace be with you.
And I'll tell you, what an honor and a privilege that was to join them and her family together like that. So,
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mike and Andrea.
Yes, congratulations, Mike.
Thanks for watching.
And Andrea.
They leave tomorrow.
Good people.
Oh, yeah.
Have a blast with them. They're good
Yeah,
people.
They're good people. And they're going to leave on their honeymoon tomorrow, I believe. And so have a safe trip.
Are they going boating?
They're going on a cruise.
Going out on a boat. There you go.
He doesn't have enough of a boat all summer long, so he's going to go on a bigger boat.
That's right.
I
That's
think
all.
we
It's
need
all
a
good.
bigger boat. But have fun. It was all good. It was all good. Anyway, we're going to take a break, and we come back. We are going to talk about some Whelen modified stuff and some K&N Pro Series E stuff when we come back.
Nice.
Hey,
we're
what's
set it
oh,
up.
I said was gonna say what's up for some reason. Hey, we're set it up, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Hey Joe and Chuck, it's Rich from G-Force. Wishing you a happy 400th show. And Joe, see that there picture? Thanks for taking that flag away. That was my first. Thanks, buddy. Alright, man, you guys have a good show. Later.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I gotta change my notes. But yeah, the Whelen Modified Tour. This season is over, and came down to the wire with Doug Colby and Justin Bonsignor, with Doug Colby.
Yeah, it was quite
champion.
It was quite the finish there.
You know, Justin did all he had to do. He won. He couldn't do any better than that. Doug Colby was just within enough points to hold them all. But for the NASCAR Modified Tour, 2019 was the tour's 35th season, starting in 1985. And Doug Colby was, like I said, crowned the champion. He ended up with 4 victories on his way to his 6th NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour Championship, which puts him in great company with the likes of guys like Richard Petty for NASCAR championships, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Richie Evans, and guys of that stature.
For championship, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Doug Colby, he's running the number 2 car, owned by Mike Scomeglio III. I know when Mike came on board on the Modified Tour as an owner, top-notch professional, always wanted it to look good. Phil Moran, longtime crew chief for the team as of now, knows his stuff. And they show up every week ready to rock and roll. And one of the things that I always looked around, I'd walk around the garage area, and I'm like, why at this level are they unloading and working on their cars? It should be ready to go. There should only be a tweak here and a tweak there after they do a few laps of practice. And these guys come off the hauler, boom, boom, boom. They put the new tires on, air them up, and they're ready to rock and roll. And I see that with all the top runners on that series. And and Justin Bonsignor, like I said, he came up just short in the tally, but winning at a track that he normally wins on, just came up short. For his second championship in a row.
Well, there's a lot of good talent in that division for sure.
Oh, my goodness. And in addition to Colby and Bonsignor, you had Ronnie Silk. He was a contender, and the 3 were battling the last couple of races for that. And between the 3 of them, they had 13 of the 16 wins. That's incredible. Incredible. And when you look at that, in a series that has good amount of cars, the competition in the top 20 are battling every week for that top 5 spot.
And they're tight.
Yeah.
They're tight.
And in many of the races, 2 or 3 seconds, 2 or 3 tenths of a second is the difference between starting in the first 3 or 4 and starting in the back 3 or 4.
Yeah. It's a great division to watch. I really enjoy watching the races from that division.
Yeah.
It's just, some of them, sometimes they freight train and, it's not the super fun, but you know what? The cars are so just awesome the way they handle and just the way the drivers and the competitors. And I'll tell you what, the division itself has just there's so many pluses there.
Yeah.
There's just so many pluses, and it seems like they always draw a pretty good crowd, which is nice.
Yeah. Everywhere they go. And one of the things that I kind of look back on when they were running 23, 25, 26 races a year, and now it kind of got put back to their 16, 15, or 16 events. And I think that opened the door to the other modified touring series. And I can remember, a Thompson or a Stafford or Riverhead, when the tour showed up, because especially at Riverhead, there were so many of the locals run tour-type modifieds that they really don't have to make too many changes to other than to buy the tour tire. Many of the locals were bumping regulars. And I remember a race, 2003, 2004, at Riverhead, where there were 48 cars entered and 28 were starting. You're sending 20 home.
That's a lot to send home.
And I remember that, it's so clear that from the pole to the first go-home car was like 3/10. Imagine going home by 3/10. And Long Island's not an easy place to get to.
And not having a B main.
And not have a B main, where they had enough cars to have
A B and a C main, whatever it takes.
My goodness.
That's
And
great.
It was just a whole different set there. And maybe some of the rule changes that were made it a little bit more costly than the guy could afford. And don't get me wrong, the rules that they made were good for the sport, but some of the people couldn't afford that. And they're not professionals. They're guys that work Monday through Friday and want to go racing on the weekend. And back when the tour was started because wherever you raced, you got national points.
Yeah.
And it was a nightmare for NASCAR to compute and keep track of. So Jerry Cook became the first, series director. Jerry Cook, a multi-time champion in the modifieds. And it made it easier. Hey, we're a touring series. Everybody's going to race at the same tracks for the same points on the same day. And it just grew and grew and grew. And now what's happening is there aren't too many what I'm going to call back markers. Because for the most part, hardly anybody goes home. And if it's a couple or 2 or 3 cars, sometimes the promoters will put them in.
Yeah.
Let's not send anybody home. Let's run everybody. And that's good for the series. And it's good for, good promotion for the promoters as well. Nobody likes to send a driver home.
No, but you know what? It's also good when you get a guy who's sitting in the stands every week, and he always sees his guy
Right.
at the local track running,
Right.
and then all of a sudden he gets in the tour.
Mm-hmm.
He's running in that race,
Right.
and you're like, oh yeah, okay, you want to cheer this guy on, even though you might like a guy in the series. You know what I mean? Hey, all right,
Yeah.
Whoever he's in the race. All right, cool, it's going to be good. Let's see
Yeah.
how he does, and you're watching him,
Watching him.
And that's the excitement that you want to make. You want to make that happen for the people in the stands. It's always a great thing.
And when you go to the Staffords and the Thompsons and New Hampshire and Bristol, Martinsville, with a pit road, it just adds that much more excitement to the event as well. So it's all good, and I think the modified series has a good future. You're seeing a lot more tour-type modified drivers sticking their toe in the water. Craig Lutz, Long Island guy. Who would have thought he'd be, in the top 5 and in the points there? Who would have thought that? He came at it. It used to be the Riverhead Raceway guys from Long Island were considered the wrong island gang.
Yeah.
They don't belong on the tour.
But ultimately, the tour was conceived of off of Long Island anyway. I mean, come on,
Exactly.
A bunch of guys got together and said, we should do this, and that's what happened.
And that's what happened. Do you think we should do this? I think we should do this. Would you go back racing again if you could?
I think the powers to be are ixnaying on the race game. Well, that's something I wanted to bring up. I'm getting the finger. It's not the one.
number one?
It's not the one to go finger either. No. I wanted to bring this up because I'm not sure if most people know this. Maybe they do, and they just choose not to participate in it. But of course, we're older guys, so you get a life insurance policy. You know, it's in bold writing in that policy in several places that, motorsports racing, you get nothing.
You got congrats.
You get nothing. I wasn't looking for it. I'm just, paging through, and I'm like, hey, what is that?
Yeah.
And it sticks out like a sore thumb.
It kind of does, like
And
in
yeah.
multiple places.
Yes, it does, in multiple
Multiple
places.
places.
So,
And,
just as a curiosity thing, don't want there to be empty tracks. Don't get me wrong. I don't want, all the swap and shops to be filled with cars for sale. But, take a note.
Yeah.
Take a note, if you've got a retirement plan at work or whatever, just, be aware.
Yeah.
Not that we wish anybody bad luck or ill will, but
And a lot of people trash talk NASCAR. And NASCAR, when you pay your license fee, it covers more than allowing you into the pits. God forbid you get hurt, injured, lose a limb, lose an eye, lose your life. NASCAR kind of kicks in.
it covers some. I'm not sure how much it covers on the loss of life, but
Yeah, it's like enough to bury you, have a real good party, and probably settle your debts. Unless you have like $1 million mortgage.
then you're out.
Yeah, because I know when I was injured, of course, and people take note of this that compete and have ever gotten injured. You get hurt at your racetrack, no matter how insignificant you think it is at that moment, report it. Go to the infield care center, go to the ambulance, however they do it at that track, report it. Because you don't want to report it on Thursday. If you get hurt report it. Now, when you get home, or on Monday morning, call NASCAR and file a report. They'll send you all the paperwork you need. And you are now covered. However, if you're healthy enough to compete right after that, the moment you compete and take a green flag, your coverage ends. They'll pay up to that point. Now, I was injured, and they covered me for 3 years. Now,
Under NASCAR.
under NASCAR. However, I did have to use my personal insurance first. What that didn't cover, NASCAR picked up. And that included co-pays, out-of-pocket. The list was endless of what they covered that my insurance couldn't cover. They paid the babysitter.
So even though you're paying that kind of money at the gate, they're still covered.
You're
Now,
still
Jay
covered.
Slice is saying he had to sign something on his life insurance just to be a crew member,
Yeah,
to be in the pits.
yeah. Probably a little waiver, bumped up his fee a little bit. Yeah, because, crew members get injured also. I mean,
Yeah, we've seen that.
absolutely.
And, of course, not a good thing. I don't want to bring this up, but,
Right.
people at the track, crew members who have had heart attacks in the pits.
Yeah.
Now, if you're there and you have a heart attack, I'm guessing you're still considered that you're racing, even though if you just walked in and didn't even grab a hamburger yet.
Yeah.
You didn't even grab a wrench. You're there and you got a soda in your hand. The next thing you know,
Exactly.
burp, you conk out.
Yeah, and that old thing, that waiver you're signing your life away. The Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court rules you cannot sign your rights away. So you're still covered. You have covered. You get hit by a car. You're walking in the pits, eating a slice of pizza and drinking a soda, and you get hit by a race car in the pits. You're covered.
Oh, yeah? Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I hit a couple of people.
Yeah,
On purpose. But
yeah.
they don't get out of the way.
They don't, and there's no horns.
Well, you rev the motor a little bit.
chrome
you
horn.
Got the chrome horn. That's,
I use that on the track a few times. The chrome horn didn't work.
But I realize that ketchup all over the hood of your car does not make you more aerodynamic.
Exactly.
You got to be careful. French fries and ketchup.
Hey, that 16-year-old Sam Mayer earned the K&N Pro Series East Championship. Mayer, 16 years old,
Unbelievable.
in one of the top touring series in I'm going to say the world. A lot of help from family and friends, but he has a lot of help from former Cup Series driver, now turned a driver performance manager, John Wise, who ran in the Cup Series. I don't remember him.
Don't
no,
remember
no
him.
disrespect. I just don't remember him. Josh Wise. I'm sorry, I put John. Josh Wise, and he had 152 Cup starts. I don't remember him.
Do not remember him.
But you're seeing a lot of this. I know, and Mr. Miss Visconti is watching, and he could confirm this because his former driver, Brandon McNarrows, who drove him for quite a few races on the K&N Pro Series East, was like a coach for a guy in the Gander Outdoor Series, training him. So maybe JV could shed some light on that. Yes, Mr. Slice, Chuck will have some explaining to do on his long ride home.
No, I won't, because we take 2 vehicles. But yes, I will, because we have two-way radios between the 2 vehicles.
It's all good. It's funny. I was talking to some people about how I wanted to go back racing, and my brother-in-law doesn't think it's a good idea. So.
Yeah, I get the itch from time to time, and I look at it, but it's it's a long way to go.
It is. Well, we're going to take a break, and we come back. We have some news that many of you probably already heard about Roger Penske, but we're going to share it with you anyway when we come back.
Hi, I'm Remington.
I'm Emerson.
And I'm Sebastian. We're Palais Royale, and you're watching Inravio TV.
There we go.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, this is Chris and Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Hi, this is Mike Jarecki from My Race News, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Hey guys, this is Jibs from Ocean's 8, Alaska, and you're watching Inravio TV network.
Hey, while we were out, JV, John Visconti of Visconti Motorsports, confirmed that he also, they have a from JL Motorsports driver Josh Berry as their driver coach for 2 of their young drivers. So this is new, this type of thing. And years ago, you learned on the weekly tracks, the track in your neighborhood, the track up the road. That's how you learned and developed. And your talent was noticed, and you moved up. Now that's not.
Well, I think part of the problem is you're really not getting, a 16-year-old seasoned veteran who's been on the tracks at their local track.
Yeah.
Or they're in their local area. So for the most part, you're getting, for a 16-year-old kid, what are you getting? A go-kart kid?
Legend, Bandolero. Yeah.
I mean, what do they go down to 14 for that?
Yeah.
So you're not getting somebody who's got a lot of seat time.
Right.
So you don't have a choice but to teach them.
And they have these simulators now that I've seen. And I looked into it. It was like $35,000-$40,000. That it gives you. It comes with the racing seat, the pedals, the shifter, and like giant screens right in front of you, and to your peripherals, with fans blowing on you so you feel like the wind is blowing on you, and you just put in what racetrack you have, and down to the rust stains on the fence, onto the wall, is on there, and the tracks that have a bumpy backstretch with that little dip coming out of the corner, it's in there. It's programmed in there. You know, it comes a long way from we played Pong.
But this NASCAR computer game, you can do the same thing with that. You can get a seat and plug that sucker in.
Exactly.
And be all set to go.
Yeah.
I was actually at a local pizzeria, and lady comes in and she goes, "Oh, there's a NASCAR race on?" And I had to look, and I'm looking at the screen, and all right, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm looking at the screen, I'm going, why does that look weird? I'm like, who are these names? I've never heard of these guys. Am I that far out of the loop? And I'm looking at the names that are racing. It's a game that they actually put on cable TV.
Yeah.
They broadcast it on cable TV.
Yep.
They broadcast people playing the game on cable
yeah.
TV. So when you look, you really have to look kind of hard because it looks good.
It does. It really does.
It really does look sharp. I mean, they even from the NASCAR games that I have, they've come a long way.
A long way. A long way. I can remember the last NASCAR game I had for the PS2. I mean, I'm so far behind. You know, you were able to change springs and tire pressure, and pretty much that was it. Now you could go in and
set the whole thing up.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not concerned about setting it up. They're concerned about driving it.
Yeah.
I want to drive.
Yeah, want to drive. Anyway, speaking of wanting to drive, Roger Penske.
Now he's got his own racetrack. He can drive anytime he wants.
The Associated Press announced today that Roger Penske has purchased Indianapolis Motor Speedway for an undisclosed amount. I got to put my glasses on for this one.
It's a big number.
Penske purchased Indianapolis Motor Speedway and all of its properties. By early next year, Penske Entertainment Corp will take over all entities owned by the Holman family, which they've held for over 74 years. This is one of the biggest transactions in the history of motorsports. And the racetrack's 110 years old, and it's famous. 2.5 Mile Oval is one of the most famous venues in sports, ranking it right up there with Yankee Stadium, which I had read in the paper. Tony George, the grandson of Tony Holman, who owned and purchased the Speedway 74 some odd years ago, made a deal with Penske in September. They've been eyeing it out since. They struck a deal, and Roger Penske now, not only did he buy the racetrack, he bought another Indy car. So he's going to have a car racing at his own track in the Indy Series. Now, he's hoping to sit down with NASCAR and work out some things. He wants to make some changes to the facility, make it safer. We'll see how that works, but I know when he owned Nazareth in Pennsylvania, Nazareth Speedway, Penske, he sold it to International Speedway Corp, and International Speedway Corp shut it down and moved the grandstands and other parts of it to other facilities. Now, I can't see that happening to Indy, which is, hallowed ground, so to speak.
I don't think so, but I can't even imagine how much money you had to plunk down for that track.
There's a lot of zeros on that check.
Wow.
A lot of zeros.
And the thing that I find interesting is that he's got that kind of pull to make that happen.
Yeah.
Again, he's probably got, I'm sure he's got a great idea on what he's going to be doing with that.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. And, the 2 cup races that they held there in the past, I think the plan is for only one. I know They only run like the Indy 500 there. They don't run other things. So the facility is used for other things and other entities. I just don't know what. But, you know.
Well, you got the 500, you got the Brickyard 400.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they're, running stuff I'm sure they have a school there as well,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Probably be a Penske school.
Yeah, probably.
Penske driving school.
There's a museum there. I drove
That's a
past
tourist
it.
destination. I've never been there.
Yeah, I was there off season, and just because I was working in Kentucky, and let's take a ride to Indianapolis, and there it is.
Yeah.
You just empty seats. That's pretty much it. But interesting that Penske, at his age, is still purchasing and buying stuff like
Still
this.
motivated, yeah.
And he's no spring chicken, but it is. But somebody just said there's a golf course there too.
Yeah.
So I guess I should bring my clubs when I go there. I'm just about as good as a golfer as I was a race car driver.
Want to go get that ball? It's down on the straightaway.
Yes. Address the ball. Hello, ball. But see, I would aim for the straightaway, and I would probably get it where it needs to go.
Yeah.
But that's just very interesting that Penske bought that,
Yeah.
and it was so quiet for so long that you're talking, a few months that kept quiet. And I guess when you're making that kind of a deal, you have to get all your ducks in a row, and I'm sure that wasn't something that he financed. Unless he just wrote.
Well, I'm sure he did.
Yeah. Well, he made another corporation through his Penske entity. So
Yeah.
I wish him well. I'm really interested to see how that goes. So anyway, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the playoffs and the ramifications with 2 races left and what we're looking at when we come back.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey guys, this is Pastor Scott, track chaplain for Riverhead Raceway, and I'm here to give you a thumbs up for the 400th episode of the 5-off-5 Racing Show. Congratulations guys, keep up the good work, God bless, light the tires, light the fires.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Rich Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
What's up, guys? This is Assuming We Survive, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. So the playoffs winding down with 2 races left. In the Gander Outdoor Truck Series, Brett Moffitt has a 45-point lead over, and Stuart Friesen is 35 up. Ross Chastain is 20 up, and Austin Hill is 9 up. And in the truck series, they go with the 6 going into the playoffs. So Matt Crafton is 9 points behind, and Tyler Ingram is 15 points behind with 2 races left. However, going into Homestead, it's the top 4. But if Tyler Ingram wins a race, he's guaranteed in. Same with Matt Crafton. So it's the win gets you automatically in. Otherwise, it's just points. So with Phoenix and Homestead left for them, it'll be interesting how that all pans out. In the Xfinity Series, Christopher Bell, Cole Custer, and Tyler Reddick are locked in with their wins. Justin Allgaier is up 18. Chase Briscoe is down 18. Michael Annett is down 28. Austin Cindric is down 31. And Noah Gragson is down 47. Again, with the same 2 tracks, Phoenix and Homestead. Just like with the others, you win, you're in. So Noah Gragson could just take down the win at Phoenix, and he's in the Final 4 at Homestead. Or one of the other guys, and it comes right down to straight points. So there's going to be some beating and banging at these for those last spots.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the topic of conversation.
Absolutely. And then in the Cup Series, with Martin Truex Jr. and Kevin Harvick, with their victories, they are locked in. Kyle Busch is 22 up. The last spot, Joey Logano is 20 up. But Denny Hamlin is 20 down. He's 20 behind Joey Logano there. Ryan Blaney, 23 down. Kyle Larson, 23. And Chase Elliott down 78. It would take Chase Elliott. He would have to win to be in at Homestead. He's just so many points back. But again, you win at Phoenix, you're in. And then it goes to the point. So, and what happened, at Martinsville with Hamlin and Logano, Logano's crew chief, or crew member, I should say, was suspended for one event for the actions in the altercation that Denny Hamlin had with Joey Logano, or vice versa. And I watched that. I watched the footage of it over and over again. And, it was at Martinsville, and they're having a conversation, and they're going back and forth verbally, and it didn't appear that anybody was yelling or making like negative references. And then Logano does that, like I've seen him done so many times, to hit the palm into the shoulder.
Into the shoulder, yeah.
That's an antagonistic, let's go. But then he grabbed his crew chief, or a crew member, I should say, and kind of used him as a block.
Throw him in the middle?
Yeah. So, first of all, I read the rule. I went and looked at the rule. The driver is responsible for the actions of the crew.
Of course.
Joey Logano was antagonistic. He threw the first blow, so to speak. He gets nothing. His crew chief gets suspended. Now, is that because if they would have parked him for an event,
take him right out of
it took him right out of the playoffs. Now, how do you, and this is a question I have for NASCAR, not that it's going to get answered, how do you officiate by looking at the points? You don't. If this was in March, April, May, June, there would have been big fines, docked points.
A different animal.
Whole different
animal.
Without a doubt. You can't, it's like, when they were saying that the Bubba Wallace spun on purpose.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Joey Logano was going to take the fall for what was going down, that what was happening wouldn't have been happening.
Right.
Because a cooler head would have prevailed, and I think that's really what they need to think about.
Right.
But ultimately, you're right. I mean, the driver is responsible for all the actions of his crew.
Yeah.
Period. Whether you have to control him. If you can't control him, then it's...
And as a driver...
But by grabbing his arm and tossing him in the middle...
Yeah. As a driver, you get out of your car, you take your helmet off and fling it, and you go walking somewhere. You're not going to see if the guy's okay. You're
right.
going to have a little chat that might get a little, physical.
Might get a little heated.
So, yeah, your crew's going to come with you.
You take 25 of your closest friends.
Exactly. And, bam, bam, bam. And there's just so many NASCAR officials on pit road now. You know, and I know a couple events that I worked, any time it looked like there was going to be an altercation, I got one of those, Joe, get the pit stall number, blah, blah, blah. Why they picked me, I don't know. But I was always the guy they sent over. I wasn't the biggest guy.
You spent some time in my pit stall.
Yeah, I did. But it was like, come on, you know, be consistent. That was a points violation penalty type of thing. You know, Hamlin didn't even hit him back. Did he go after him? Absolutely. But when I heard at the end of the races, you know, the crew member so-and-so has been called to the NASCAR trailer. Whoa, where's Joey? And he does that a lot. He stirs the pot. He gets, you know, he starts it, runs away, and then the crews are rolling on the pavement, you know. He was like that in go-karts. He was like that in go-karts.
Well, kudos to Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
Get him all pumped up, get him to hit you. Maybe you'll take him out of the points, and then you're next up.
So you know, these guys are running, you know, right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know at Phoenix, there's going to be some paint swapping.
Put him in the penalty box.
Oh, yeah.
That's the idea.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? For Denny Hamlin, what are we talking? Checkers or wreckers? I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. That's what you got.
Yeah. I got to admit, this was good coffee.
You like that?
In our Inravio cup.
That's our special coffee.
It's a special coffee.
That's a special blend.
And,
Right
you know, I love coffee.
I do, too.
So anyway, there's 2 races to go there. Phoenix, Arizona, and Homestead. So anyway, what do you got for us? You got anything?
I got nothing.
Got nothing. You know, we do have some marketing opportunities out there for our show. So if you're interested, let us know.
Absolutely.
You know, a little partnership with us.
You can direct message us. We have a lot of things that are coming up on the off season here now with the racing starting to come to a close. Yeah. So we're going to have old timers.
Yep.
Some interviews with a lot of the old timers from Marty Hines Museum and so forth that we've done throughout the course of the year. So we're going to have stuff like that we're going to be popping up.
Yeah, what do they say? We have a lot of stuff in the can, so to speak.
Stuff in the can.
Stuff in the can, and we could talk about and show and see. And it's like I said, it's November. Before you know, it'll be the holidays, be testing. Got the Turkey Derby coming up at Thanksgiving weekend down at the Walls Township Speedway. So there's two big races left in the top top 3 there. So so it should be real good.
Yeah, and we're looking for a team that wants to step up. That they might want to do some tech tips from their shop.
Absolutely.
So it's a nice little marketing marketing thing for your team and your crew.
Yep.
And your sponsors, which is going to give them great exposure.
Yeah.
So if you have a team and you want to get some extra exposure for your sponsors, which means you can charge them more money.
Exactly.
That's really what it boils down to, right?
Exactly.
You can give us a call, or just PM me through the Facebook there.
Yeah, we'll come with our camera crew and our people and our director and our producer.
Absolutely.
Our microphones, and we'll make it happen.
Make it happen. Yeah.
Oh well. So we're getting the good one finger now, not like the one finger you got before.
Oh, different one finger?
It's a different one finger. Yeah. It's like one to go. It's like the white flag.
One to go. So white flag. That's what we need. We need a little white flag. She's not amused.
No,
not amused at all.
I think it was do you want to go back racing comment?
Nah, she doesn't even care.
No. Look at that face. For those who have never been here, it's a pretty cool studio. Anyway.
We only see half a face, so we only see I'm not sure if that's the happy part or the sad part.
We only see from the eyes up.
I see the shake of their head, so that's not a good thing.
Yeah. Hey, the North-South Shootout is this weekend, so if you're headed down there from anywhere or headed up there or across to there, have a safe trip. And if you're racing in the North-South Shootout, be careful, have a great time, and remember, we do this for fun, and we all have to be at work on Monday.
Everybody's got to come home.
Exactly. All right, well, I want to thank everybody for taking time out of the busy schedule to join us tonight. Thank you. It's been a pleasure, always a pleasure. Chuck, got it?
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure. Be safe.
And
have fun.
And we'll see everybody next Monday. Good night, everybody.
Good night.